very vibrant and growth-filled good morning to everyone present here. On behalf of the Practice Management and Development Committee of C.V.O. Chartered and Cost Accountants Association, it's my absolute pleasure as a convener of this Growth Summit to extend warm welcome to our President, the office bearers, our visionary past presidents, energetic managing committee, our distinguished speaker, and of course, all the enthusiastic friends and fellow professionals gathered here. This summit isn't just another event. It's a celebration of possibilities, a platform to collaborate, a space to spark ideas that lead to meaningful growth and development in our day-to-day practices. Today, let's challenge the ordinary, explore the new dimensions of growth, and push the boundaries of what's possible together as a team. And now, to kick off this exciting journey, it's my honor to invite the dynamic and ever-supportive president of our association, C.V.O. to deliver his welcome address and set the ball rolling.
Welcome and good morning, everyone. I welcome you all to this Growth Summit. Country which talks about 6 to 7% of growth in GDP. Country where a lot of IPOs have come in last 2 years and more than thousands are lined up. Country where 66% population is young below age of 35. Friends, in this country, of 140 crore population, we have only 4 lakh chartered accountants and 1 lakh CA firms. There is no doubt that with lot of opportunities, new era of practice, the profession is going to grow. Experts say that with the technology changes and new government policies, our profession is going to consolidation mode. Whenever an industry goes into consolidation, some player vanishes and some flourishes. Maybe the profession is moving to the specialization and super specialization approach. Maybe we need to think more like entrepreneurs and less like professionals. Maybe we need to think big and bold so that we think as to whether vanish or flourish. Today's Growth Summit is designed to give perspective with futuristic approach. With the kind of training we had, maybe we are taught to move from 0 to 1. But now it's time that we learn how to move from 1 to 100. Hence, it's time to unlearn few things and relearn new things. It's time to change the mindset from risk-free bet to risk-taking bet. Real risk lies in living riskless. We normally say that. We wish this summit shall give you enough food for thought when you go back. It will help set vision and introspect about mindset which you adopt henceforth. Before I end, I would like you all to please give big round of applause to the committee, Nihar, and all the Nihar's team for taking this particular initiative and making this possible. Also welcome our today's first speaker, Anil Bhandari, and big round of applause to all the today's expert speakers who are going to come today. I wish everybody happy learning. Thank you.
I now request Committee Chairman C.A. Manoj Shah to address the audience.
President and convener in welcoming you all to this Growth Summit. The whole idea, about this conference is to ignite that spark which every one of us has. Probably it is subtle. We have that desire. We have that, initiative. Probably we are not taking. We have the desire, but we are not able to put it into practice. The whole idea of today's summit is to ignite that thought, strategize your approach, create that institution mind that, usually when I refer to C.V.O. Chartered and Cost Accountants Association as a member, each one of us is maybe highly successful. Probably we have not been able to create that success as an institution. What is required is, that individuals have got a short lifespan or limited lifespan. When you look at institutions, they have a much larger lifespan. If we have that attitude of developing an institution in profession, be whatever, with an entrepreneurial mindset or organizational practice or even chamber practice or consultation practice, but if we have that mindset to institutionalize, moving from I to we, that's the second session we have. Third session is about, becoming future ready. Use of technology, or what are the areas and how we can branch out, what are the opportunities available. And this is how we have finalized the 3 sessions. The 4th session will be most interesting, which is on panel discussion. We will have Q&A session. Panelists are also all luminaries in their field. They have gone through this process and they have tested the success. Also to touch upon here, what President mentioned about numbers in terms of India's GDP and other things, even the Prime Minister himself and Indians, it is wished that we also should have Big Four coming out from India. That is the attitude and that is the approach which government also supports. So when you come together, or if there's a collaborative efforts within the profession, should not be limited to only getting C&AG audit or stat. If we are moving out of that compliance and mindset which makes you to collaborate for real betterment of profession, I think this is what is required. And if you create that institution, it will may take some time, but I definitely feel that future would be much better, not only for profession, for the other things who wants to join the profession, and for our community and even country. So with these opening remarks, may I now request Jil Jain Shah to start with the session, and I request to introduce the today's speaker, Anil Bhandari, very dynamic personality, and request Jil to start. In order to do the proceedings.
Thank you, Manoj bhai. Good morning once again, and let's begin our day with the first Power Pack session, Scaling Heights, Human Strategy for Growth and Expansion. As we dive into theme of ambition, growth and success, the session promised to equip us with insight that are both practical and inspiring. At this moment, I request the dignitaries to kindly take their place on the dais. I request CA Anil Bhandari, CA Manoj Shah, CA Vinit Gada, and CA Jil Shah. Now I invite the chairman of the session, CA Manoj Shah, to share his opening remarks and to set the context for this impactful session.
I have already shared my views, but what I would like to know, I remember the first speaker of the day, when he took up the chairmanship of WRC. I don't remember the year, but I've heard him. And 2014-15, it's almost 10 years ago. I still remember that talk. It was at Chimbu Statistical Society, he had come as a invitee, but I really was impressed by his talk, the way his vision was and the way that is you can see in his practice and when he talks. So I would believe he's a man with radical yet very rational thoughts. And it's really pleasing to listen to him, his strategies and the way ahead. So this is what we have to begin with. I request Jill to formally introduce the
Good morning to everyone present here. It is indeed a privilege and honor to introduce our esteemed speaker for this session, CM Anil Bhandari. A word synonymous with visionary leadership, innovation and global impact in the world of risk advisory and cybersecurity. Anil sir is the mentor of A&B, a leading leadership advisory services firm headquarters in India, with its presence in over 15 countries and a portfolio of over 2,000 plus clients. Under his guidance, A&B has emerged as a fortuner in cybersecurity and resilience space. With over 25 years of rich experience in the domains of risk governance and digital transformation, Anil sir has donned many prestigious hats. He is the past president of the Institute of Internal Audits, India, and a global committee member contributing to advancements in technology, risk and control frameworks. He has represented India in the Institute of Information and Systems Control, ISCA, USA, as a part of the Global Task Force. As a chairman of WIRC and later as a 2-term Central Council member of ICAI, he has played a pivot role in steering digital initiatives for over 4 lakh members and over 1 million students. His global perspective is further reflected in his role as a vice chairman in the Edinburgh Group. Recognized for his integrity and judgment, Anil sir has been appointed by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs to the Appellate Authority under the CA, CS and CMA Acts adjudicating disciplinary matters across the nation. In addition, he has served as an independent member in SEBI mandated IT and cybersecurity committees for both Nippon and LIC asset management companies. We are truly privileged to have him share his insight with us today on scaling heights and learning from his incredible journey of growth and impact. May I request everyone to welcome Anil sir with a big round of applause. May I now request our President CA Vineet Kadda and past President of CVOCA and Chairman CA Manoj Shah to kindly come forward and felicitate Mr. Anil Bhandari with a token of our appreciation. May I now request CA Anil Bhandari sir to address the participants. Thank you.
All right, so I think a very good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you, Chairman, President, fantastic association that you have, C.V.O. I have known and been acquainted with this for several years now. I think you do a fantastic job, so congratulations to all of you for the past, the present, and I'm assuming the future. Because, this helps, all of these community building exercises really help you to scale up yourselves, think a little larger in life, whether you're been in the system for a long time or whether you're just becoming a chartered accountant. And I'm not saying just chartered accountant. I was talking to Manoj that, you do have a lot of other verticals like engineering, etc. I'm starting to believe that over a period of time we should start merging all of this because the world is becoming very flat. And there's nothing like chartered accountancy or engineering. All of these concepts are getting merged in some or the other way. And I'll probably talk about it when I talk about our topic today, scale your practice or scaling heights. So I've been known for, welcome Paris. I was looking forward to our Central Council member, PT also, so please say hi to her, I know she's busy. But again, a fantastic person, she's been with me. We were there together since 2014 and we worked very strongly, so I hope that we make the first president, the first woman president, hopefully. And of course you know her, so I don't have to talk about her, but she's very focused. Alright, so going back to this topic, how many of us here are in practice? Wow, significant numbers, lovely. Well, I'm probably going to destroy this because I'm going to say, why are you in practice? Right? You should not be in practice in today's time. Anybody, why in today's time? Why should we not be in practice in today's time? I've been known to give lectures on audit and accounting as a dying practice. Preeti never calls me for audit and accounting as a dying practice. She said, you're going to throw away all my chartered accountants. So she decided to give me a different topic today. But I've been, since 2015, if you remember, I would always go on the dais and say, audit and accounting is a dying practice. And again, I'm not the inventor of that. The inventor of that is like World Economic Forum, all the reports which cover the world. I remember when I was a chairman in 2015 when I spoke about this in Vashi, I think. People literally smirked at me. He said, boss, hum to yahan pe internal audit, concurrent audit 2010, 10 years back, abhi to, of course, people are now acquainted that maybe concurrent audit is not so useful, whatever. They said, look, we made you chairman because we want you to protect all of this and you're talking about it being a dying practice. Some people meet me after 10 years and say that, what you said in 2015 was very relevant. So I really hope that, some people kind of got up and took action in terms of what we were discussing. But I surely did that. I surely believed in, what I was doing and what I wanted to do. So, and we are lucky from that perspective. So let me try and divide this discussion in 3 parts. The first one being, how does the future look like It's going to have 4 tech slides, but ignore the tech part of it. Think the business part of it. We always think technology from a technology angle. Don't think technology from a technology angle. Technology is just an enabler. You know, 10 years back when I used to tell people that I do tech audits, people used to think, you know, this is more engineering, right? And chartered accountants were perplexed. How is a chartered accountant doing tech audits? Today, I have taken out my time from AMD and I spent last 8 or 9 years in deep cyber tech. And believe me when I say deep cyber tech means really, really deep cyber tech. We discuss and debate cyber security with US federal government, Indian defense, US defense, European defense, NATO for example. I've gone and spoken about cyber tech with space assets. What do you do with satellites up in the sky in Prague, for example, and with some serious people. And incidentally, all of them have been engineers. And we chat about it and discuss it for 3 hours. And then, if sometimes somebody knows me, etc., and then he realizes I am a chartered accountant, it's a 360-degree change. He said, "How can you be a chartered accountant? We don't believe you." And my engineers in my office don't believe me because I have 1,000 engineers working for me. So people who don't know me, the young guys who would have probably joined us, have no idea that I'm a chartered accountant. And I sometimes hide the fact that I'm a chartered accountant. Also because, you know, engineers, if you tell them first I'm a chartered accountant, engineers start making up their mind. Boss, ye chartered hai, isko engineering kya aata ho? But believe me, it has nothing to do being a chartered or nothing to do being an engineer or nothing to do being a doctor. Of course, doctor requires a little different skill, but it is to do with logic. It's always to do with logic. If your logic and your head is at the right place, there is nothing that you cannot learn or unlearn, and there's nothing that you cannot go deeper into. And one thing that chartered accountancy has taught you very well is always ask the question why, what, when. We've been taught this during our articleship. Always ask the question why. Why is this expense there? What is this for? And that actually should fuel your imagination and innovation, trying to figure out in any other space that you're likely to do. Now, when I went to ISRO and I was talking to them about protecting the space assets, I said, have you thought about cyber security in protecting satellites? So, first question comes to the mind is that, yeah, we've been doing this for 20 years. They are ISRO scientists. They've been doing this for 20 years. There is no doubt about it. When you go and meet a CIO and you talk to him about technology, he's been doing it for 25 years. He knows what a server is. And when we go and talk to him about cybersecurity, he says, yeah, I've been doing it for 20 years. I know what we've been doing. So when we had a chat with the ISRO scientist, I only asked him a question, sir, how do you protect your satellites today? Can somebody not block your satellite? He said, no, we've got protocols, we've got encryption. So, you may not believe this or not, but anything and everything which is available in the tech today, 80 to 90% of the component comes from either the USSR or the Russia now or US, for example, right? And when they have created technology, there is always a front door and a back door in any technology that you create. If you want to talk to a satellite, there has to be a way to say hello to the satellite, and the satellite has to send you back an hello. So I speak English to you and I say hello, you tell me hello. I say hi, you tell me hi. I speak to you in Gujarati, you speak back to me in Gujarati, right? How does the satellite speak? The satellite speaks in a particular language, right? Which it has to understand. So in India, the satellite has a protocol where only the Indian satellites understand a way to talk to each other. The American satellites understand a way to talk to each other, and the Russian satellites understand a way to talk to each other, which is encrypted. So I asked him, how long has this protocol been there in the market? He said, sir, 50 साल से ISRO है, तो हमारा protocol वही है. You know, after 50 years, everybody knows that protocol. There would have been like thousands of scientists working in there. So everybody knows the protocol. Like everybody knows your password, for example, over a period of time at house or whatever. So I said, how do you protect it in the future? And you know what? He spent 4 hours with me after that. So I said, I simply put it that, look, by now everybody should know your protocol. He said, yeah, you're right. So I said, how much time would it take Americans to stop your satellite and make them come down? 5 minutes. It just takes 5 minutes to kill a satellite. It's just that they are not killing it. It's just that they are not killing it. If Russia, America, Israel, or even us for that matter, if you want to kill it, the communication can come down in 5 minutes. So why am I talking to you about this? This is just an interesting discussion, thought leadership, thinking about why, how, and how is it relevant? Let's talk about it. So please again don't look at the tech part of it for the 5 or 6 minutes. Imagine just business for a moment.
We lose an acre and a half of forest every second. There goes another one. There goes another one. It's 15 billion trees a year. This drone gives us a way to fight back. This was invented by a company called Biocarbon Engineering. They're in Australia. It is a tree planting drone. It fires a tree bullet into the ground, right? Biodegradable bullet container, soil, nutrient-rich solution, little plant, driven by AI, so it gets fired precisely at the depth it needs to go to, in the exact position it should grow in. This drone can plant 100,000 trees a day. They're building an army of 10,000 of them. They can plant 1 billion trees a year. Technology is finally getting to the point where it's making a serious, serious difference in this fight.
What would you imagine if somebody showed you this? As a chartered accountant, what would you imagine? Let's make it interactive because I've just got some things to talk about. I mean, it's no lecture that I'm trying to give. All our chartered accountants, and fortunately Institute has built equal chartered accountants. There are only 50 of them who get a rank, right? So the rest are all equal. So what do you think? What does come to your mind first when you think about when you listen to something like this? What comes to your mind? Quickly, one or two, whatever comes to your mind, fast.
Who is the customer?
Sorry?
Who is the customer?
Who is the customer? Okay.
Problem solving.
Problem solving.
Multiplication of work.
Multiplication of work. And now, there are a lot of things that people do with drone. You don't need fighter pilots now, you don't need jets, you are fighting. But when you look at this, one use case that comes to your mind is agriculture. Billions of, I don't know, what he said, I don't know, 8 billion trees or whatever. That is likely to change the landscape of what you do and how you do, what you grow and how you grow over a period of time. Right? So the first thing that should come to our mind is, hey, is there something in it for me here? Do you do any work for anybody who has a farm? Do you do any work for anybody who's doing agriculture products? Do you do any work for somebody who's doing branded food and wants to go back and either scale up or scale down? Right? That should be the first thing that should come to our mind. Nothing to do with tech, drone, no problem, great, fantastic technology. Right? So always think through what is the application, if not for the world, for your client. If not for your client, try and figure out, is there a possibility of you doing something for one of your clients or one of your prospects? Or if nothing else, look, I'm not a space expert. I'm also not a space cybersecurity expert. But I just went and opened up the door of a conversation specifically because I just wanted to do a little bit of thought leadership. That conversation after 3 years has led to an RFP which we are bidding for now, which is worth $2 million. So this is how it happens. You have to have patience, you have to build something and you have to talk about it. You may not be an expert, I'm not an expert, but I'm still filling up that RFP. Why? Because now I understand that subject better than anybody else who is bidding for that RFP. I've already understood it, he's already spent 4 hours. Now again,
the world's largest rocket. Sit.
right. So just wanted to give you a glimpse. Everybody see that on YouTube? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? SpaceX, that's also interesting. We always think that somebody is disrupting the market. Fantastic guy. मेरा क्या काम हो रहा है उससे? What is it for me? So let's just bring it back and say, what is it for me here? Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow, maybe in 3 years from now. Is there something for us? What is this likely to change? What is this likely to change? This is likely to change one industry which is a booming industry. What is it likely to change? Sorry? Huh?
Telecom.
Tourism. Tourism maybe yes. Anybody?
Telecom.
Telecom maybe yes, yes. It's going to change logistics, supply chain. Can you imagine a ship takes a month to deliver goods from A to B location? This guy can deliver it in 2 hours. And a huge ton payload. It takes a 450 ton satellite up in the sky. It can deliver 450 ton worth of goods to you in 2 hours. Right? Rocket goes up and rocket lands down. So you've solved that problem. It's likely to solve logistics problem going forward. Now I don't know whether we have somebody in logistics or not. I don't know whether we can think through this today or not. But if somebody is really wanting to be and desireful of trying to create, especially maybe the younger generation from a perspective that they've got those years to go forward, and the seniors from the perspective that I want to invest in something. Now, I used to have fun when I was in the concert. You know, I was in California and I was in a cybertech conference. I always used to show this. You know, all central council members used to have, literally pull my legs that you always show a robo and people like it and stuff like that. And that's why you get votes. Fair enough. Whatever works. But look at the fundamental difference. Now,
Hey buddy, can I have a selfie with you?
Hi, namaste.
Namaste, how are you?
क्या हाल है? सब ठीक है?
एकदम सब ठीक है. Can I have a selfie with you?
आपका नाम क्या है?
Can I have? मेरा नाम अनिल है. आपका नाम क्या है?
मेरा नाम
रॉबर्ट वी है. आपके साथ एक सेल्फी खींच सकता हूँ?
Yes.
So are you being remote?
so I'm showing it to you from a perspective that I spoke to this robo in 2017. Today is 2025. What you look on the right hand side is almost a very close mirror to being a humanoid. This was pure machine. It's close to a humanoid and it is creating whatever it's supposed to create. These are likely to come up again in the next 5 years. Are there applications for this in whatever industry you are in? So now you will tell me, Anil, why are we, boss, this is too forward looking for me. How can we even think about it? We have to still come out of what we are trying to do. But believe me, practice, services and consulting only comes from thinking through what is likely to come in the short run and what is likely to come in a little long run and picking it up a little early in life to be able to develop a consulting. What does consulting mean? What is the definition of consulting? Anybody in chat GPT, what's the definition of consulting? What does it really mean? Maybe if somebody can just do a chat GPT or whatever and tell me, what does it really mean?
Somebody with expertise knowledge, or superior expertise knowledge.
Fantastic. Maybe so somebody with an expertise knowledge trying to give gyan or direction or suggestion to people who want to do something like that. That's what consulting is all about. So when GST came, there were very few people in the country who first thought that GST should come in that way. Second, who attacked it even before people could think about it, which means they started to talk to people, understand it, and give consulting. And the third kind of people were who took it and who do reconciliation today. Well, I'm sorry to say this, but most of us do that, right? In practice, most of us do that, which is also good practice. It's elevated our practice. The size is bigger, no problem. It's created a nice vertical for us. But who made the most money? Who made the most money? The first, who thought that it should be in a particular way. The second layer, who actually did consulting and went told the company that boss, आपका ये भी हो सकता है, आपका ये भी हो सकता है, because there was no right or wrong at that point in time. So you get into a large Hindustan lever and tell them, yeah, this is also possible. If government comes out with something like this is probably possible. You're going to make money, lose money. There is no right or wrong answer. Fantastic. बढ़िया कंसल्टिंग है यार, मतलब आप उसको राइट जवाब ही नहीं दे रहे हो, आप तो उसको बोल रहे हो ये भी हो सकता है, वो भी हो सकता है, बट उसके लिए आपको 5 करोड़ रुपया दे रहा है. Just need to understand the art and the tact of doing that. That is consulting. Consulting means 50% of the time learning from the client and telling the client what to do. That is consulting. If you ask me, and if you can change the definition, consulting is talking to you, understanding what you do, how you do, coming back, shaping it up with a little bit of expertise or knowledge that you have, and going back and giving the same bottle back to a customer. Broadly. Well, I don't intend to say that this will always come true, but fundamentally it comes true. Okay, the last one here. This is again in California, these are all double masters, etc., etc. What is likely to come is something really, really interesting.
Thanks for bringing your friend.
Mr. Spaghetti.
Mr. Spaghetti, okay. What, can I touch him?
Oh, please, yes, he likes being touched.
All right, let's see.
There's
Is it
touch
mine?
sensors. If you
Now look, again I don't want to take too much time. This is a small toy and you can buy it. I think it's available in India also. Maybe crossover or something. What this double master is trying to ask the other double masters lady, the scientist, is what is likely to happen in the future with artificial intelligence and humanoids coming in. People are saying you're likely to fall for machines. You're likely to start developing emotions for machines. Is that possible? Is that possible?
Doesn't look like now.
She did an experiment in 5 minutes.
Oh.
Here only. We were like there are 50,000 people who attend the cybersecurity in San Francisco in the RSA conference, which is now on the 28th. And we were literally 10,000 sitting in a huge auditorium. And she demonstrated this in 5 minutes. She said that this is a machine, you know it's a machine. Right? The machine wags the tail, puts the head down. This baby, so he or she, I don't know what to call them, but they go to sleep. So she says, pick this machine up by the tail. So he picks it up by the tail. And after a minute, this machine wakes up and says, So he's holding it. Then the voice becomes louder, And then the voice becomes louder. What does somebody do after 2 or 3 minutes? Just leaves it. Why? It's a machine now. So she's saying that look, in 5 minutes, you could not even bear with it. You thought that somebody is in anguish. And you left it. Can you imagine a robo who's there with you for 5 years in the house doing some work for you and you're not going to develop emotions with them? Of course you're going to develop emotions. The robots are going to develop emotions. Why? It's because the artificial intelligence will eventually make them learn emotions. Emotions are what? Besides the tears or whatever, emotions are what? Thoughts, right? Good, bad, oh you've fallen down, I'm so sorry for you, please be careful. Those are eventually would develop into emotional models. But it took her only 5 minutes to demonstrate that. So anyway, so what I'm saying is that the world has become flatter. The world has become too fast. In like 5 years, things have significantly changed. Every industry in the world is likely to go through a transformation. There is no doubt about it. Which opens up an amazing space for us in terms of trying to do anything different that we want to do today. And today is the time to do it, fortunately, for all of us. The younger generation, the senior generation, today is the time for us to relive it because the rules of the game are changing very fast. And this is fantastic. When the rules of the game change fast, people like you and me and people who are hungry start having amazing opportunities because everything is changing. You don't have to go to the same income tax office any longer, right? The second day that I became a chartered accountant, I went to Piramal or what's it called? Piramal Chambers. And my brother just told me कि यार वो ITO है उसको जाके मिलके ये कुछ कर देना. I was going round and round first day. Ground floor पे गया घुमा. Then I asked somebody. He said third पे होगा. Third पे I asked somebody. He said यार वो तो वो ITO के पास है. उसके कॉर्नर में जाओ. फिर मैंने एक बंदे को पकड़ा प्यून को उसको 50 रुपए दिया. मैं भाई लेके जाना उसके रूम के बाद यार. And when I came out, I said I don't want to do this here. I cannot be doing this. Right or wrong, I don't know. Right? So what I'm trying to tell you is now you don't need to go there so very often. Things have changed. So things are changing very, very fast. So just to sum this up, we were in an age of a compulsive use of technology. I had to literally go and tell people, please use technology. कुछ अच्छा होगा. And you remember the banking times, computer आ रहे हैं, jobs जा रहे हैं, वगैरह वगैरह. People went on strike, etc. Happened all across the world. Today we live in an obsessive use of technology era, which means you get up in the morning, and the only thing that you want to look at is your WhatsApp or your messages. All of us, including the seniors. My father would also want to do it. Is that not so interesting? What is likely to come is an immersive use of technology. You are likely to be immersed into technology. So, if you just, I was in one of the conferences here with Nilesh Bhai and all, I just suggested, if you happen to go to US, buy an Apple Vision Pro. If you really want to know what world is coming. Look, I'm trying to take this time because I want to tell you the context of what we are discussing is very important than what we are discussing. And that is something that we should be all aware about. The awareness is more important than actually what you also want to do. So this is the state that we are in. And of course, everything new business model, ecosystem, partnerships, cultural shift, skills are going to change. We don't have the skills of the future. Our sons and daughters don't have it. Unfortunately, we are not being taught what is likely to come in the next 3 years. There is going to be an amazing gap in what is expected and what we are likely to do as skills. And of course, data security and privacy is becoming important. Now, where are we in all of this? As chartered accountants, where are we? Most of us, or maybe 80% of us, because chartered accountants are not only in Mumbai City. In Mumbai City, maybe this has, of course, changed. I took this chart 2 or 3 years back. This has significantly changed. You have IBC now. You have a lot of things which a lot of chartered accountants are doing, which is fantastic. But fundamentally, this is what we do, more or less, even today, unfortunately. Is that right or wrong? Or is it significantly changed because from a daily practice? This is fundamentally what we do. And if you look at the margins now from a stat audit, so, you know, I'm in the tribunal, मुझे तो कभी-कभी डर लगता है कि आप लोग statutory audit कर कैसे रहे हो? So much of liability, for what kind of money? तो बेचारा जब कोई केस लेके आता है हमारे पास तो मैं सोचता हूँ कि यार ये सर्टिफिकेट देख के इसने क्या किया, 500 रुपया भी नहीं कमाया और यहाँ पे बेचारा 6 साल से इंस्टीट्यूट चक्कर काट रहा है, फिर हमारे 1 साल से चक्कर काट रहा है ट्राइब्यूनल में, फिर हाई कोर्ट में जाएगा क्या बचाने के लिए, 6 महीने की उसकी प्रैक्टिस बचाने के लिए, नाम खराब नहीं हुए उसका और पता नहीं उसने क्या साइन करके दिया. So I'm saying liability is huge and we do stat audit, which is not bad, by the way. Statutory audits are not bad. But if you are doing statutory audits, then you should be focused on statutory audits. It's an amazing thing to do in the next 10 years because people are now going to look at you with a very focused eye. They don't want to look at people who are doing everything in life. So that definitely brings opportunity on the table. But you need to be super serious if you're doing statutory audits or any attest service for that matter. Any attest service for that matter. And it has a fantastic opportunity. But make sure that you charge what you want to charge, otherwise just leave it. It's not going to make sense if you don't charge for the liability. Imagine liability, don't imagine numbers. So the chairman of our tribunal used to keep asking me, I said, boss, उसकी balance sheet 80,000 crore की है, उसमें से 5 crore रुपया नहीं देता auditor का, और आप उसको बोल रहे हो आपकी जान sign कर दो 80,000 crore पे. Can somebody do it? Nobody can do it. With all the technology in the world. It should be at least 25 crores, 30 crores, 40 crores. If I am signing the balance sheet, anything goes wrong. It only happens once in a lifetime for any auditor. And maybe for some auditors, several times in a lifetime. But look at the big four here. The big four have taken this as a part of their problem statement. ये तो होना है. Like for example, you know, the part of our problem statement in cybersecurity is you're likely to get attacked and you're likely to go down. How do you come out of it is more important. Resilience is more important. So the big four have taken it as a part of their life. This is a risk which I have to carry on my head, and I'll probably do what I have to do and try to keep money aside, try to do insurance, whatever. And the only advantage that they have is to maybe take a partner out, but still continue. So I like what Manoj said, that institution becomes important in these cases and individuals don't become important because you still survive for a period of time. So if you're doing statutory audit, you need to know how to survive in that market with a liability. Now, this is again an interesting one. Why do you think chartered accountants in the last 50 years could not become or could not have large practice or could not become large consulting firms which we see abroad? Any idea? Why in India? Maybe of course maturity of the country takes a different, see, the country is also mature, people mature here, etc., etc. But why do you think in the last 50 years, last 10, chalo 40 bhul jate hain, that we could not really scale up to the height? Even today, we have got good firms, fantastic, I'm sure you have sessions here today. But that scale up is at what level? Those scale ups are at in $1 billion. This is nowhere close. Why? Anybody?
Team size.
Sorry?
Team size.
Insights.
Team size.
Team size.
The firms are not thinking globally.
Not thinking globally.
Ambition. We are working on a cost center.
Cost center.
Ambition.
Ambition. All of that is true. What is the biggest problem? Is we don't invest in practice. Who here has become a chartered accountant and bought an office first and bought the best of the technology and then started to do practice? Mostly none of us. First, we go get a job. उसमें से जो बचता है, we try to invest there. Can you run a factory like this? Can you become a builder like this? Can you create any company like this? Never. So unfortunately, the way that we have looked through at professional services is, it is your own cost. You don't even count your own costs, yeah? Forget about investing. And we don't even think about, because if I go and work somewhere, I would get salary, 10 lakh ka salary, 20 lakh ka salary, 30 lakh ka salary. We don't even do that, right? So the biggest missing link in anything that you want to do is investment. And because you don't invest, you don't have the skills. Because you don't invest, you don't have the people. Because you don't invest, you don't have the tech or whatever. And assuming that you did a fantastic job for 2 or 3 years and made some money, what do most of us do? What do most of us do? We either put it in stocks or properties. This is a pie chart which tells us how we are making money. This indirect practice was there before Modi ji was there, so that was a good practice. And a lot of people made money, lot of money, amazing amount of money, right? And why people, that is also a problem, by the way. You know why? एक एंट्री देने का अगर हमको 5 लाख रुपया घर पे बैठ के मिलता है, तो कौन जाके ऑडिट करेगा भाई? स्टॉक ऑडिट करेगा। और वो अगर उसका आजकल क्या बोलते हैं, AMU बोलते हैं ना, एसेट मैनेजमेंट कंपनीज क्या होती है? एसेट्स अंडर मैनेजमेंट। If entries under management go to 100 crores or 200 crores, you have done. Now you've got a Mercedes Benz, you've got a nice house. 80% of the chartered accountants made a lot of money. Again, nothing to do with good or bad. Those were the times. Those were the times, and those were the things that one needed to do for whatever the system was around. People made money. Why will he even invest? Why will he make a firm? The पागल है कि हम लोग 50 आदमी को लेके रोज सुबह जाना है, train them, and then the attrition is there. I am making good money. I am giving some 50 crores, 100 crores of entry, even if it is 1% also, I am done for life. That unfortunately took us back 100 years. Unfortunately. And now, because you are not able to do that, suddenly we are feeling claustrophobic to say that, boss, what to do? So, the practice actually makes only 30 to 40% for us. The stock market makes some money for us. And the house or the property that you would have bought makes some money for us. That is what chartered accountants do. Believe me, you go to any corner of the country, you go to Rajkot, you go to Jamnagar, you go to Ahmedabad, you go to Chandigarh. Fortunately, as Central Council member, I have travelled, and they've got nice properties and they've got good stocks. So fundamentally, if you look on the right, we were never in practice. We were fundamentally never in practice. Because you should be making 80% from what you do and just 15 or 20% from other income. Our other income was more and our practice income was low. And to try and sum up where we are today, I said, what's likely to come, where we are today. To sum that up, where are we today? And this report is World Economic Forum report, so I haven't written it. Right? And you may want to do Google, and you'll probably learn a lot if you do a lot of good Googling. Maybe ChatGPT nowadays. This is the job landscape. So if there's anybody working here, or even doesn't matter even if you're not working, it at least tells you what is likely to come and what is not likely to come. Emerging global roles in this was 2022. Top emerging में Accounting here भी नहीं है, data analytics, AI, machine learning, general operations manager, software applications, big data, digital transformation, new technology, organization development, information technology. It is all revolving around tech. These are the 10 emerging skills that people want. What are declining? Data entry clerks and accounting, bookkeeping, payroll clerks, administrative executive secretaries. These are declining. So people don't need accountants. And I love this, what I'm going to tell you next. There will be no accounting and auditing in the future. 25 years from now. Why? In the way that we are doing it today, of course, there will be some sort of accounting, whatever. But why? Why? Automation. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? What does accounting mean? Set of standards. That I need to have this entry, I do debit, credit, and I follow the standards for inventory, for capitalization, forward, forex, they're standards. Why have people built standards? Because they don't want you to do whatever you want to do. And there is a visualization on the top which says, I want to see Indian GAAP, I want to see US GAAP, I want to see IFRS or whatever. Below the accounting is just debit, credit. Right? And then there is visualization, how people want to see it. And the debit and the credit is following a certain standard. I don't know, if you have a small kid in house and you take him out on the main road, and if he sees a red signal, the first, intuitively the kid wants to stop. Maybe 3 years, 4 years, they want to intuitively stop. It's embedded in him, the red means danger, green means okay. It wasn't there 50 years back. We were taught and we were charged money that if you cross when the light is red, I'm going to charge you money. So we were taught, that was a standard. The government put it up all across the world. Now it's embedded. Over a period of time, it's understood and people start following it. So what happens is, this is also a standard which evolves with a lot of maturity in the next 25 years, 30 years. The standard would become embedded in whatever we do. Why? Because if you need to do accounting entry, there are only 4 variables. Capitalization कैसे करना है, inventory को कैसे record करना है, expenses को कैसे record करना है. There are only 4 or 5 variables for a period of time. So they will all diminish because it will be an expected way of doing it and the software will do it for you. So the accounting standards per se will also significantly change. And it might just come back and say, please look at the AIML algorithm of the accounting function. Is that appropriate or not? After 25 years. Maybe 20, maybe it will be faster. If that changes, your auditing standards will go through a change because you don't have to audit. There is no standard. So what I'm trying to say is that you're looking at a fundamentally different way to even do basic accounting and basic auditing. So now, in the next 15 minutes, let's try and reimagine how you want to set up a practice or whatever you may want to call in the next maybe 5 or 10 years. Because this is likely to happen, whether I say it, anybody says it, I can keep coming back here and I hope that I come back here after 5 years and we can talk about it. So let's for a moment, indirect practice is lost, more or less. If you're still making money, good, hang on to it. Assume that you don't have this. Direct practice also from tomorrow. That's the first step, if you want to build something. You have to give up what you have. Not give up in the sense the way that you want to give up. You have to make those shoes available for somebody else, and that is an investment. Just tomorrow morning, just go back to office and say, I don't want to do this. But you don't want to destroy your practice here. Whatever we are doing, it runs your house, it pays your salaries. Try and shift it to a new shoes as much as possible. Now this is somewhere that we have a problem. Everybody has a problem. We talk about networking, we talk about coming together. You know, 2 chartered accountants can never come together. Lawyers can come together, but chartered accountants cannot come together. Anybody why? I have still not understood it after having spent maybe 6 and maybe 10, maybe 15 years in the institute, I did a lot of thought leadership. I have not understood this. Sometimes I feel like getting two people together and banging their heads and say, "Bhai, problem kya hai?" I don't know. Anybody?
Mindset.
Huh?
Mindset.
Mindset. Of course, mindset. But what is it? What is it that tells us why, I cannot work with 4 people together?
Insecurity.
Insecurity. Anything else?
Too much calculation.
Huh?
Too much calculation.
Too much?
Calculation.
Sorry? Calculation. Yeah. Maybe chartered accountants, we are made to calculate pennies and we forget about pounds. Yeah. Which is also true. Absolutely. I think that's a larger problem sometimes. We are so mindful of the pennies that we are not even looking at the size. And this you learn sometimes when you travel abroad. It's absolutely I don't know. I think we have a mindset that we can do everything. Sometimes I don't know. इसमें क्या है? मैं कर लूँगा. I can do it. Right. Second is we do not have a mindset to sacrifice. And in a normal partnership, you do so many partnership audits, right? Correct? In a normal partnership also you have to sacrifice. So you know what, I have a lot of people, when I was Central Council member, even today, some people call me on Saturday and say that, we are 4 partners, you want to come and chat about, कैसे structure करना है partnership का, percentage कैसे structure करना है. So I had a very interesting conversation for half an hour with someone. तो 4 लोग बैठे हैं, बोले हम लोग ये टैक्स करता है, ये ऑडिट करता है, बहुत काम करते हैं, 24 घंटा काम करते हैं हम लोग. तो 5वां आदमी है, बोलते हैं ये दिस गाय इज वेरी गुड इन सेलिंग, ही गोज एंड गेट्स अ जॉब फॉर अस, बट काम तो हम लोग कर रहे हैं. तो इसका तो हम लोग बोल रहे हैं 10% देना चाहिए, और वो बोल रहे हैं बस मैं काम लेके आ रहा हूँ, मेरा भी इक्वल स्टेक होना चाहिए, राइट? एंड आई वाज स्माइलिंग टू माई सेल्फ, राइट? द 4 guys राइट, दे सेइंग बॉस हमारे बिना क्या काम करेगा, जीएसटी मेरे को आता है, thought leadership मैं करता हूँ. And they were senior partners, by the way. They were senior partners. They just came to me to figure out how do we structure our partnership. What is more important? Business is more important. Doing is more important.
Business.
Both are important, right? Both are important. You go to a company, you go to your office in the morning. A peon is also important. A receptionist is also important. And all the way, everybody is important, boss. But everybody thinks good about it. For a full day, I only do this in my office. I play chess with my people. I come back to my office and I say, oh, this senior guy does not want to. क्या होता है? When a company grows larger, everybody wants to run his own castle. सब अपने area के king बन जाते हैं, right? You go to any large corporate, you may be auditing so many of them. बोले बॉस वो टेक्नोलॉजी देखता है, वो बोलता है टेक्नोलॉजी में कुछ भी है तो मेरे बिना हिलना नहीं चाहिए. वो फाइनेंस वाला बोलता है बॉस टेक्नोलॉजी कितना भी होगा, पेमेंट तो मेरे साइड से जाएगा बॉस, राइट? सेल वाला बोलता है बॉस तुम लोग क्या करोगे, बेचूंगा नहीं तो मैं. प्लीज आप कोई भी कंपनी में जाओ, हमारी कंपनी में भी ऐसा ही है. When we were 3 people, I used to enjoy. I don't know, maybe I used to make more money. And with 5 people, 10 people, 15 people, we used to come in the night and do something else in the morning and go and crack that very deal in the morning. Now we become like 1500 people, we have our own problem. Sir, he's not releasing that. We have to go and talk to him. Sir, finance guy is not releasing it. The payment is by conference मेरा कल है, उसको payment देना है. वो बोलता आपने process follow नहीं किया, ठीक है process follow नहीं किया, कल payment तो करना है ना मुझे. I cannot go to a conference where I paid 1 crore rupees and I just stand and I don't have a booth there. Logical thinking है ना, इसमें कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है. So I call the finance guy, he'll tell me, नहीं सर process ही follow नहीं किया, मैं कैसे दे 2 crore रुपया है. I said, देखो पता है ना हम 2 साल से कर रहे हैं, कल कॉन्फ्रेंस है, हमको फ्लाई करके जाना है, नहीं खड़े रहेंगे, बूथ नहीं रहेगा तो क्या होगा, पैसा तो देना ही है, कॉन्ट्रैक्चुअली ऑब्लिगेटेड है. अच्छा सर आप बोल दो, कर देता हूँ. So what I'm trying to say is that our ability to work together and fundamentally for chartered accountants is a very important ability, and our ability to sacrifice is also significantly important if you want to do anything to scale around that. You have to let go, doesn't matter. Because one partner would always be better, smarter, other guy would always maybe, sometimes it's between brothers and sisters also, right? Now that is something that we need to take care of. So how do we scale up? How much time do I have? 15 minutes? 5, 7 minutes? Okay. So how do we scale up? Now look, I think the first thing that you may want to do is look at some numbers in the world. Now, if you look at KPMG numbers, Big 4 accounting firm numbers, they run into billions of dollars. 40 billion, 50 billion, 60 billion. How the hell they have even managed to do that, I have no idea. But I was just trying to see if I could do and the number of people, they have 200,000 people. And by the way, we only follow Big Four. But if you go to the US, there are hundreds of them who have more than 2,000 employees, 3,000 employees, 5,000 employees, 10,000 employees. And their turnover is 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion, 5 billion. वो कभी आता नहीं है हमारे radar में because we only understand the Big Four. But there are several of them. Several of them. There is a chartered accounting firm which does, even I was surprised, there's a chartered accounting firm which does only PCI DSS compliance. PCI DSS compliance is something that you need to do for credit card industry, which means every merchant has to be certified, bankers have to be certified, financial services companies have to be certified. It's a small set of audit for which you have to register with the visas of the world. You pay some $5 million cup, you get a bank guarantee for whatever performance, etc. Not too big amount. Invest in some half technology, half business, half people who understand the function very well, and just that practice. And we also do that. There are a lot of other firms do that. Big Four does that. It's just one small vertical for us. But that company in the US just does PCI DSS compliance. They have 1,600 people. Their revenue is $2.5 billion. Just took my mind off for some time. I said, यार हम लोग इससे अच्छा काम करते हैं. We understand it far better. और हम लोग तो 10 करोड़ का भी काम नहीं कर रहे हैं. This guy is doing work for $2.5 billion. What he did, or she did, they decided to take just one and just scale it up. और कुछ नहीं करना है बस. Different functions, scale it up. Every bank, every financial services company. So if you go to, and then the second one is called Control Case. They are from India. Just one PCI DSS compliance, nothing else in the world. They are Indians, they went and settled themselves abroad, and they run a $200 million practice. A lot of my employees who used to work with us have gone and settled and worked, and they do it from Philippines to US. They are also chartered accountants, cost accountants, some technology guys. $200 million is 2,000 crores, more or less. 2,000 crores. Just pick up one, scale it up. So I would have, if you would have probably been to any of my conferences, you would have probably realized that there are 4 things that you need to do to scale up or do anything in life. Like I said, kill your practice, and you don't have a choice. You have to do that today. Think services. So let's try and just spend 2 or 3 minutes on a case study of E&Y, for example. This is closer to what everybody looks at. Can people read this? No? So it's got advisory on the top, actuarial services, analytics, customers, cybersecurity, finance, financial services, internal audit, people advisory, program management, risk assurance, risk transformation. Then in growth, EY, entrepreneurial winning women, assurance, about assurance services, accounting, compliance, reporting, center of board matters, transaction services, tax services, specialty services. If you look at this, audit is less than 15% of the entire business, globally. Less than 15%. Actually 15 is ज़्यादा बोल रहा हूँ. What does it make you think? It's only services. Think services. It's only business, nothing else. And they will pick up one element and try and scale up that element. There is nothing else to be done. And if you now start looking up their website, and it could be US website, India website, anywhere you look at it, you will find out trends and what are they doing, and we can just copy it. We don't have to do too much around it. Copy means copy fundamentally that what's the trend? Is this likely to come up? Let's pick up one, learn it. At the end of the day, all the partners, etc., are all people like us, you and me, and I'm sure there will be several here who may be working or would have worked with PwCs in Innovate and KPMGs. Nothing new, right? So again, if you look at any of those services, 80-90% of the time, you know what Deloitte did as a strategy? They used to be the largest auditors for more or less, statutory auditors for more or less all good companies in the country. Do you have any idea what they did in the last 5 years when the rotation came in? Any idea? Anybody? So you should follow these trends. They started to pick up full functions of different firms. They went to KPMG, picked up the entire forensic department of KPMG. They went to E&Y, picked up the entire security practice of E&Y. They went to IBM, they picked up 100 people from security practice of IBM, technology practice. And they kept doing this for 1 year. And they would have spent a lot of money. Today, 85% of their practice revenues are 10 times more than what they used to do before. And all of these new age services, they are the number one in the country. Why? Because they realized 3 years back or 4 years back that rotation is likely to come. Our biggest vertical which is likely to be hit would be statutory audit. And they quickly transformed themselves into services which they were weak because they were doing a lot of attest functions. Alright, so not taking too much time. 2 more suggestions. Anything that you do, please productize it. Anything that you do. Very important, even the smallest piece. And this is what I've learned in the US. If you go to the US and you go and talk to any sales guy in the US, the sales guy, you know, India mein hum log, we are very sharp. Humko client ke paas jate hain, ye bhi chahiye, wo bhi chahiye, and then we come back and we kind of create something and go and sell him something. But it takes us a lot of time to do that. Lots and lots of time to do that. And we are able to manage to do this only for 5 or 6 customers. The US guys are not like this. If they find that something is like this, you have to stitch up 5 things, 6 things, create something. They'll do it once, but you know what? They'll come back to office and figure out, is there a method in the madness that I can bucket this? Make it very simple, bucket this. And can I go and sell the same service in the same bucket with maybe a little lesser cost, but fast, across the world, very, very quickly. That is why I said PCI DSS. I said, let's just pick up one. उसको पहले complex था, समझ लिया, bucket किया. They know exactly कितना टाइम लगता है, 10 दिन लगता है, 15 दिन लगता है, 20 लाख रुपया चार्ज करना है, 50 लाख रुपया चार्ज करना है. Once they have got it right, you have to do nothing. You will just pick up the bag in the morning, go and hunt for a client. Why? Because your execution and delivery is perfect. The biggest problem in consulting is people, and even the bigger problem is services. The ability to deliver. And you need to be careful about our ability to deliver. So the last one is learn to sell. And if you go to all of this again, you'll probably realize the message is how do we able to send the message of product sales, product marketing, and productize the service in marketing. So I think, we're running short of time, but I just wanted to tell you that even today, for example, in whatever I'm doing, I was trying to read a book, how do you do product-led sales? You know, what is a product-led sales? Have you worked with softwares like Zoho? All of us have worked with softwares like Zoho, right? You don't have a sales guy calling you up. Do you have a sales guy calling you up? No. The product sells on the platform. You just go, try it, pay the dollars and do it. Doesn't take too much time. And they give it to you free. And over a period of time, you want to buy it and use it. So that's product-led sales. So, well, I don't know, I hope that you found this useful. And I'm hoping that, we kind of expand our mind and think through fundamentals of all of this very, very carefully. And then maybe try and scale up and pick up one and then try and scale up very quickly. Today is the time. So thank you for inviting me here and pleasure to always have these sessions. And I'm hoping that from here we start seeing people who want to invest in what we're doing. So all the best to you and have a good day. Thank you. Anybody doing IBC here? I was with the member IBC and they said that there are so many documents flying around, so many people coming up, don't keep a track of things, there is no structure, there is no method in the madness. And he came up to me and said, hey, can you help me to create a nice product around it, technology around it, so that I'm able to get everybody on the same platform and blah, blah, blah. And I was wondering that none of our chartered accountants have actually gone to him, or anybody for that matter, to try and think about creating a platform, because this is far more complicated and sometimes it's also a dirty game. And structure it, it's worth at least 100 crores, if nothing less. And so these are things that, anything that else you're doing, you should just pick it up and think through, how can you make it larger, because you understood that game slightly better. interesting service anybody is giving? Other than the routine stuff, have you kind of broken this into anything which is interesting? Yeah, which is good. Pick up one and I keep giving this example. I went to Nagpur. I don't know if you would have heard me again anytime. Amazing. Some young kids. And I went to their office. So they were all in jeans and t-shirts and all that, you know. And I said, yaar, aap log kya kar rahe ho yahan pe? Almost at 300 people by the time, Nagpur mein. So I said, aap log kya karte ho? Bole, hum log TDS karte hain. I said, wow. मतलब एक एलिमेंट है पूरे प्रैक्टिस का TDS, हम लोग तो भूल भी गए, खाली टैली करते हैं. So they created a nice platform and a service around it for large banks. The TDS don't tell you ever, right? So I asked him, क्या business कर रहे हो? Any idea? कितने का top line होगा उसका? Any idea?
20 crore.
हाँ?
15 to 20 crore.
50 crores. 50.
50.
एक ने दिया, दूसरे ने दिया, तीसरे ने दिया, है नहीं वैसा. And created a platform, which is not like a rocket science platform or whatever, but created a nice service around it. 50 crores. Now listen to the fun. अपने कंट्री में कौन सा clear text है ना, which is I think valued over. So I said अभी क्या करना है? तो बोले हम लोग सोच रहे हैं अभी फंडिंग करें कि clear text को बेच दें. मैंने कहा क्या है? 500 करोड़ का ऑफर है. हो गया मतलब they are like 30-year-old guys and you know created a company. It's an amazing thought. Nothing tedious, which we have learned for years. Scaling up. We picked up one, productized it, around services, tech platform a little bit, productized it. 500 crores, yeah. TDS.
So what is the name of the firm?
I forgot. I will send you. I will send. Put it in the group. Wait a minute. I'll send you. They are young chartered accountants. I think 4 or 5 partners, young chartered accountants. Nagpur. State Bank, then they got Punjab National Bank, Canada, hired some engineers. वहाँ पे नागपुर में you get good engineers for 20,000 bucks, etc. Then got interns and chartered accountants and services around it. State Bank का TDS ही नहीं होगा, कैसे होगा? इतने branches है, ये होता है कि. So interesting stuff. I was really impressed. All right.
Any questions?
Truly and very interesting and engaging session that we had. Thanks Anil bhai, and it was really eye-opening. Lot of objectives which came out of this. One is sacrifice, one is stay invested. I think we have been just staying invested in stocks, but we have never stayed invested in practice. I think that is a need of the hour, and you need to upgrade, you need to even financially stay invested. Always look for scale up, and these opportunities will come up if you stay invested. He said about looking at productizing the services, and that's where I think too much of work needs to be done. Like you do audit working papers post-audit. I think what examples Anil shared is nothing but doing post-operation, treatment of any consulting, and try to productize it, try to document it, and see if we can convert that into product which can become scalable. So I think if you go with that kind of change of mind and attitude, opportunities definitely will come up. Each one of us can have a unique opportunity coming his way if we have that aptitude towards it. So with these words, we end the session. Thanks again, and I request Girish bhai to propose thanks.
Thank you, Manoj bhai. Everyone will agree that Anil sir has taken us through from the basic to the scaling up our practice. He had shared various example with us. On behalf of CVOCA and everyone present here, I propose very well-deserved vote of thanks to the CSC Anil Bhandari. Thank you very much, sir.
Let's keep the momentum going as we now move into our second thought-provoking session, building an institution from me to we. It is often said, if you want to walk fast, walk alone. But if you want to walk long, walk together. That's exactly why institutions are made to survive for generations. This session is all about evolving from individual brilliance to collective excellence, about building something that lasts, inspires and empowers. May I now request the speaker, CA Mayank Lakhani, moderator CA Harsh Dedia, session chairman CA Himanshu Chheda and our member CA Ankur Sangoi to kindly grace the dais. I now invite the chairman of session, Himanshu Chheda, to share his insightful opening remarks.
Good morning, friends. It's my privilege to chair this session. We are gathered here not only to share knowledge, but also to inspire each other to build stronger and more enduring institutions. The theme of the today's session, building institution from me to we, is both timely and significant. It challenges to think beyond personal achievement and focus on collective growth and shared purpose. As a chartered accountants, our profession demands the highest level of trust and collaboration. While individual efforts are essential, institutions thrive when teamwork, shared values, and long-term vision take precedence. The shift from me to we is about creating organizations that reflect integrity, adaptability, and innovation. हम लोग ने सबने सुना है सबका साथ सबका विकास. You know, the similar line, the theme is me to we. Few thoughts, ideas, challenges in my mind, and there may be many in your mind also. Speaker will cover maybe few or more. You know, power of collaboration, trust as a foundation in me to we, mentorship, teamwork, you know, leaving legacy, like that many. So, dive deeper into this critical topic, we have with us distinguished speaker Mayank Lakhani. He brings wealth of knowledge and experience to this discussion. I am confident his insight will inspire us to think differently and act collectively to strengthen our institution and our profession. Let us engage actively, reflect deeply and take away lesson from him. So I request him to take. Before that, we have to do formality. Just I will ask Ritesh. Thank you.
I request our committee member Ankur Sangoi to introduce our distinguished speaker.
Once again, good morning to everyone. It is privilege to introduce a dynamic and thought leader and transformation force in the professional service award, our next speaker for the summit. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Mayank Lakhani, a co-CEO and member of Managing Committee of Next Deal, a leading global business advisory and professional service firm. With over 2 decades of the diverse and rich experience, Mayank sir has been instrumental in shaping and scaling the high-performance team across the professional service, business consulting, corporate services and corporate functions. And at Next Team, his champion operational excellence while focusing on innovation and collaborations. What truly set him apart is his solutions-centric approach and strong belief in building a value-driven central focus strategies. As an inclusive leader and nature talent, diverse technology, innovations and consistently face boundaries are built to future-ready, globally integrated institute. Today we honor to hear him speak on a very fitting and inspiring topic, building institution from me to we, a theme that beautifully mirrors his own leadership journey. May I now request a past president and chairman Himanshu Chheda and managing committee member Chintan with the token of appreciation to kind come forward and felicitate Mr. Mayank sir with a token of appreciation before beginning of session. Let's give the warm welcome around. It is again a pleasure to introduce our moderator for the today's sessions, a young and dynamic profession who brings the perfect brand energy and experience and expertise, C.A. Harsh Dedia. A chartered accountant, graduation from Mumbai University and registered valuer under IBI, Harsh has covered a niche in himself in areas of valuations, audit and financial advisory. With over a decade of professional practice under the name of H.S. Dedia and Associate, his journey has been one of the constant learning, growth and contribution. What set him apart is a contribution to valuation success, startups, complex mergers, a true reflection of his analytical depth and commercial acumen. In addition to his professional achievement, Harsh holds several honorable positions in his currently as a Vice President of C.V.O. Chartered Accountant Association, and he previously has been part of the Corporate and Commercial Law Committee of the BCS. He has also been co-opted on various committees of WIRC, including a prestigious Valuation Standard Board for 2023-24. May I now request the past President Ketan Gadda and Managing Committee Chintan Sayyar to kindly come forward and felicitate Mr. Harsh Dedia. Please join us welcoming Mr. Harsh Dedia.
Session. After the power-packed and insightful session what Anil Bhandari had given, he probably might have thrown many thought leaders, but also he has thrown many questions against us. And one of the important questions is how to build a team. In any professional service firm, to scale up, you actually need to build a team. Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba, very jokingly once said that it is very difficult to make two intelligent people work together. And that is exactly the challenge what majority of the chartered accountants face. So having Mayank Lakhani, who has been there, done that throughout his 20-year-old journey from a small firm to a big four to now to next time, who has actually seen this journey and has built that institution from me to we. So it would be a privilege to listen to his story, listen to his experiences in this session. Everyone sitting here might be knowing or might have heard about Next Time. Next Time is a professional service group in India with a team size of 1700 people serving to businesses across 50 countries. That is an institution he is leading. He has actually been in the managing committee and co-CEO of Next Time. So Mayan bhai, coming to you, what is your experience? I mean, how that journey has been shaped in Next Time?
Yeah. So let me start, and if you don't mind, I will not just sit and talk. Maybe if I don't see an interactive session, I may go down and maybe go to each table. So we'll make it more interesting and make sure that we all are engaging with each other. I joined this organization in 2007 from Deloitte, and there was no reason why I should join this organization, which is a 50 to 100 people firm, and I was working with a big four. But the whole idea is that when I met the founder of the firm, he asked me why you don't want to join, because I said I don't know what I will do in your organization. Because what I know you don't know, and what you know I don't know. So he said that's my problem, not your problem. So I said okay. Well, let me tell him that I asked for a salary which he cannot pay, so that at least he mera jaan chhode, so that he doesn't take me. But finally I quoted some salary numbers which is 2 times of what I was earning in Deloitte, but he said okay, done. Now I said now to be first guy, I have to at least go before I leave the organization, and that's how I joined this organization. Now the journey is today, while it started as a CA firm, we have moved away from a CA firm tagline, and we moved to a pillar and a service called business services and a professional services. So we created a 2 segment within the organization over a period of time. As I said, today we are 1700 people, serving customers from 50 countries, having 20 service lines, having in India 5 offices, but abroad also 3 offices owned by us. This is not network, this is not affiliation, this is 100% subsidiary owned by us. And for us, we always reinvested into the organization. We never took money back from the organization what we earned. So we call the enabler department, okay, or the support function. Lot of you are practitioners, right? Who are the practitioner here? Yeah, most of you, okay. Okay, everyone, which is fantastic. How much is the support staff you have? Support in the sense, you have finance, IT, HR, legal, admin. Hota hai na? Everyone, right? You will have major revenue functioning team, right? Either they are delivering or they are providing. So we have 200 people, 2 to 250 only providing support. And what kind of support I will cover it later. But what I am trying to tell you is that that is there, and the theme and the DNA behind the firm is create more entrepreneurs within the organization. So we want to give a feeling, whoever join us, as if you are running your own shop, maybe in a departmental store, and having an attribute of an entrepreneur, and that's how we have reached where we have reached. And as we move forward, I'll share more and more stories, what challenges, what kind of experiences we had to reach here where we have reached so far.
What was the size of firm when you joined next time?
100.
And now it is 1700. So 17x in the terms of people, forget revenue.
Yes. Yeah, revenue would be much higher. We don't believe in the revenue growth as the same as percentage growth of the people. We take pride if our revenue grows faster than the people growth, what we have it in the organization.
Fine enough. So let's start with the heart of the talk.
Yes.
From me to we. How did that shift happen in next time? From me to we.
So, let me start. So, when I joined, we had only two service lines, audit and tax. I think most of you have that, audit and tax,
Yes.
lot of it. Yes, there will be a lot of other services which you might be giving. So the first thing was that initial days when the firm was founded, everyone was doing everything. It was more client centric. You have a customer, whether you want to provide a tax service to that customer, indirect tax, compliance, secretarial, the same person will provide all the services. Over a period of time and over a period of a decade, we immediately realized that if everyone does everything, maybe the client is missing the specialized knowledge which they are looking for. All of us goes to hospital. You go to general practitioner also, right? बुखार आया तो जनरल प्रैक्टिशनर के पास जाते हैं, खांसी हो गई तो जनरल प्रैक्टिशनर. बट कुछ ज़्यादा सीवियर बीमारी है तो where you go? Why? So the same fundamental applies. Very simple. There are no rocket science in this, right? We believe we can do everything, but when it comes to a deeper side of the problem for any customer, you need a specialized knowledge and you need a very deep knowledge about that service line. So the first thing what we started doing is make generalization to the specialization. The first thing, because if you want to serve a larger customer or a big customer, you can't serve them with a generalist mindset. The customer will come to your office and will ask, who is your transfer pricing partner? Who is your IDT partner? Who is your IBC partner? Who is your advisory partner? Who is your DD partner? Now you will say that सब कुछ यही करता है. You know, these are the 5 partners. He does this also. He does that also. While you have some specialization, audit and tax. So one thing which we started doing in 1990s. I'm not talking about now. I'm talking 1990s. We started specializing the department. The second thing what we did was the distribution of power. Not one person will never take a decision. When we started the firm, it was one person. एक recruitment भी करना है तो you will go to a managing partner or a senior partner और एक chartered accountant लेना है. एक partner लेना है तो भी जाना है. आपको कोई नया location खोलना है तो that partner only will take a decision. You want to outsource some services, you will only that partner will take a decision. So we started functioning and thinking about how do we make sure that we are able to distribute the decision making ability and not remain with one person. So Anil also spoke, right? We have insecurity, we can't give up. The problem is that we want to keep everything with us. I can only make a decision. वो आदमी 80 साल का हो जाता है फिर भी फर्म से निकल नहीं सकता है. मतलब you just imagine, right? How many CA firms you will have? So 75, 80, they just can't leave the power. So that is second thing which we decided that it won't be centralized. We will decentralize the decision making power. The third thing is, if I can't do it, I will make sure that I join hand with someone, but I will make that happen. So what we decided was that if need be, we will have joint ventures, we'll acquire the firms. If I can't do it and if I can't build it. So I think in 2003-04 we built a JV, joint venture entity with a Singapore-based company called Tricor. This was 2003 and 4. Because we thought that if we want to build that practice, we will not be able to do it. The practice then was corporate service. You know, what it includes I will share later on, maybe off the dais, whenever we meet. But that helped us to get so many MNC customers from the APAC region that we could have a flood of inquiries with respect to how you can serve those customers as a single window services. Because they are serving them in Singapore, they want a good partner in India also whenever the customers are coming from Singapore to India. So we never shied away from joining hands and sharing the revenue with the people. And the last, but not the least, is the organization before self philosophy. It is beyond you. Finally, you want to build an institution and not only yourself. That's where we moved from a concept of me to we over a period of time. These are just the principles, while I'll share the stories as we move forward.
Very correctly said, the people make organization, so obviously the organization should have a bigger shelf life than yours own shelf life. Now coming to say next time, which has seen the growth, which has seen a steady growth, any mature firm, any mature entity should have a structure, a pyramid. There should be some pillars to it.
Yeah.
So what are, I would say, 5 pillars or 4 pillars of next time, just briefly?
So as we were moving forward, see, we have to have a structure. How do we grow, right? Because today, as I said, everything is done by everyone. How many people here sitting in practice are running their own HR function, admin function as a partner? Most of you, right? IT, HR, admin, legal. Contract भी आप ही देखते रहोगे. Recruitment भी आप ही करते हो. Appointment letter भी आप ही बनाते हो. आदमी छोड़ के जाता तो full and final भी आप ही करते रहोगे, right? Payment में authorized signatory भी you will be there. Am I right? Yes. Have I understood it correctly? So we had the same thing. There is nothing new, right? We had the similar situation maybe 30 years back, but it is 30 years back. So the 5 pillars, so what we decided is that first we need to have a structure if you want to have a growth journey. And this I am talking even when I joined, we had that structure. So there are 5 pillars. The first pillar is business growth. In the previous session I heard about how to sell, how to productize, but finally everything is linked to the growth. How do I grow the firm? Second is the governance. It's not about how do I grow the firm, but what value system, what governance structure I need to have to grow the firm. Third is the people. We all understand they are the biggest assets, but not necessarily we value as we understand. The fourth is the operation, which is the heart of the delivery, operation, technology, quality. And the fifth pillar is the practice management. Anyone understand the meaning of practice management here? I think all of you must be doing, right? Practice management means what? Just one idea. What is the meaning of practice management as a pillar? How do you review your own practice? How do you know whether you are in green, red, orange? It's not about knowing only your financial number. Are you in line with industry trend? Are you at the right location? Are you in the right geography? Are you providing enough services what your customer needs? What is that is the health of the practice. So it's beyond what is your profitability and the top line. It's beyond that. That's called practice management. So these are the 5 pillars which we put as a framework for us to look at from me to we, if we need to be. Each of these pillars we need to work hard and make it stronger to move from a proprietor or partnership firm to an institution.
Fair enough. So let's talk about the first pillar, the
Absolutely.
approach of growing the business.
Right.
For a professional services firm, broadly I would say there are 2 types of growth, inorganic and organic growth.
Absolutely.
Either to go the deeper the service you are providing, or to join hands with someone with the services which you are not providing.
Right. So
what type of a growth do you prefer, or what has next time done?
So I'll tell you now, I have a slightly longer answer, and if you don't mind I can stand up and talk. That's okay with all of you. So, you know, what we had was the service line, business growth. As we started with the audit and tax, as I said, right? Now how do I expand the services? So I'll give some journey to all of you. So let's start with the decade of 1990. Maybe very briefly I'll cover, but I'll cover it very fast. So 1993, 1994, globalization started. Everyone is aware here in the room. So the question was, we were into the rat race of every chartered accountants. कि भाई मैं करूँ कैसे? मैं ऑडिट 5 लाख रुपए में तभी 50,000 में बेचता था, तो दूसरा 40,000 में जाके बेचता था उसको. मैं टैक्स 40,000 में बेच रहा हूँ तो दूसरा 25,000 में बेच रहा है. Now how do I survive in this industry? At the same time people are asking more money, right? You are not able to retain the good talent also. So we thought that we need to do something different. We can't do what everyone is doing. So we started a concept called single window services. Now this is a mall culture. What the mall culture came now, we started in 1990s. That any foreign company who wants to come to India, we will be their ears and eyes. Now there are so many chartered accountants are doing that. But we started this in 1990s. After that we realized in 1997-8, because the foreign companies are entering into India, there will be transfer pricing. Today transfer pricing for all of you is very common. But at that time in 1998 or 1997, that was unheard of, the concept. We sent one of the partner to Washington in US. पर तुम उधर जाओ, लॉयर के पास बैठो, इकोनॉमिस्ट के पास बैठो, कि what is transfer pricing and how it works in the global economy, because US was already having transfer pricing concept, whereas India didn't have. So we invested very heavily. 6 months that person spent time in US, not earning revenue, sitting in US at our cost, traveling, staying, everything was done by us. He came back and we became very famous. Earlier it was called as SKP, and SKP became very famous in transfer pricing, and the name was very good in the market in transfer pricing. Then 2000 started. तो हमको थोड़ा मालूम पड़ा everyone is doing outsourcing. तो हमको थोड़ा FOMO feeling आने लगा यार. Everyone is doing outsourcing. हमको लग रहा है हम ही रह गए. Because every Tom, Dick and Harry started outsourcing. 2000 में इंडिया में outsourcing होना बहुत चालू हो गया था. I don't know how many of you know, but early 2000 that era started. So we were waiting and the opportunity came and we started outsourcing. फिर one decade went, 2010-11. I joined in 2007. So the whole segment was that now we need to start something in advisory. So we started venturing into advisory like greenfield, transaction advisory, risk advisory, cyber security, forensic. So that era started in 2012. And the last, which is the last 5 years or 7 years, we thought we need to now get into consulting. Consulting which is beyond what a professional chartered accountant does. We got into supply chain consulting. We got into procurement consulting. We created a new brand called IIQ, which is something to do with AI and ML. Okay, artificial intelligence and machine learning based solutions. We started with legal contract management side of it. So every 5 to 10 years, the first thing what we did organically, this was organic, right? You said, how did we move? This was absolute organic journey. In this entire journey, other than 2 small firm acquisition, everything was done organically. Now one wonders, how can you do organic? Because you have experts which are only audit and tax. So what we started doing is, we realized one thing. Root of every practice birth is from audit. Root of every new practice in our organization started 30 years back from audit. Audit wale bande ne DD chalu kiya. I joined in audit, and then they asked me, my specialization was in risk advisory. So we started seeing that the same audit guy will do internal audit. फिर वो risk control करने लगे. We realized we are getting more inquiries. Then we started hiring people from outside. Till that time we were managing with the same people, set of people who were doing accounting, audit, tax. And that's how we started building new practices. So every 3 to 4 years we build new service line. That was one specific line of a service. Now there is not always a success. We started so many service line. While 70 to 80% succeeded, but we failed also. हमने चालू किया, we put lot of efforts, we brought the best of the leaders from the market, we couldn't get succeeded. So one of the practice, I'll be very open, forensic. We started, we invested for 3-4 years, but my turnover could never go above a particular crores of rupees. So we decided to close down. That also requires guts. Our problem is, once we start, our ego is so high that even if I don't make money, I will continue doing so. You can't stop once we start. So we decided that वो emotional connection business line से cut करेंगे. If we need to stop, we will stop. We will not worry about what world will say. चालू किया और अभी बंद कर दिया. It doesn't make any difference. So we have failed in service line. At times we have started new service line, the leader left. Happens, right? You start a new business line and the leader leaves you. Now what do? Today also I am in a situation where I have a specialized practices and the leaders have left. What do I do in that situation? Okay, today we have 1800 people, so I can still manage. But when we were small and medium size also, we were finding it difficult. We took a risk. We took a bet on a chartered accountant. Someone who had that passion. हमने analytics practice चालू किया. I had a data scientist from the market, and he was an aerospace engineer. Now I will imagine a chartered accountant or a consulting firm appointing an aerospace engineer in my company, that person to start the analytics practice, AI ML based solutioning. He did 2-3 years, we were not building revenue, he left. We asked another chartered accountant who was part of business advisory service, and he was very much interested. He says, can I try? I said, why not? Let us try that. He started doing. Today the practice is 8 times of what that aerospace engineer wanted to do, a chartered accountant is doing today. That practice is being led by a chartered accountant who didn't knew data science क्या होता है, data engineering क्या होता है, and he is dealing with the people who are only data scientists and data engineers in the world. But there is an application of mind, there is a common sense. So that is an organic growth. We also had a small inorganic growth. And these are all friends like you, right? I have worked in Deloitte, I had so many people whom I knew. So there are a lot of many people who had started their own firm. Now when they were running, they reached to 20, 50, 100 people. Then they were tired, some of them. बोलते हैं ये रोज का रोज working capital manage करना, administration manage करना, वही तकलीफ रोज bear करना is becoming challenge. So I said let us start working together. So we believe in courtship here. आजकल लिव इन भी बोलते हैं राइट मॉडर्न जमाने में, तो लिव इन रिलेशनशिप, बेड पे साथ में सोएंगे लेकिन शादी नहीं करेंगे जब तक जमेगा नहीं, राइट? सो दैट इज लिव इन रिलेशनशिप इन द मॉडर्न वर्ल्ड. सो वी स्टार्टेड हैविंग लिव इन रिलेशनशिप विद पीपल कि ठीक है 1-2 साल काम करेंगे, जमा तो शादी करेंगे, नहीं तो नहीं करेंगे. And that's how the inorganic growth started. So we acquired a practice in cyber security, we acquired a practice in forensic services. They just joined hand and we moved. So that was an organic and inorganic. And just to tell you, the second side, as I said, the answer would be long here because it's a business growth, very near to my heart, this subject, the geographical expansion. So it's not only about the service expansion. We started with Mumbai and Pune. We went in India various places. There also we failed. We started the office in particular city. It worked well for 3 years. We had to shut down again. How many of you people have started the office somewhere else and shut down? Or you still are in Mumbai? Shut down, right? How difficult it was? Very difficult, right? But it takes guts, as I said. So we shut down also if that is not profitable, because you are not doing charity, right? Finally you are running the organization where you need to pay to your partners. So we had such situation in Bangalore, we had such situation in Chennai. Still I have not restarted the office. I started in Chennai, I shut down because the pricing was very bad there. Sorry to say, but in Chennai, if you get in Mumbai 100 rupees, in Chennai you get 25 rupees for the same services. So we are finding it very difficult to run that office itself. So we shut down. We said it's okay. Client को आना है तो आए, नहीं आना है तो हम दूसरे चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट वहाँ पे दे देंगे. They can serve them, but we will not go there. Similarly, in 2012-13, I started doing work in Dubai. So I started getting inquiries from Dubai. The question was, I started going there. I myself used to go and execute the work there. Now, every time you go, you feel you need to have an office there. Every time you come back from Dubai, you are busy in your work, you forget that you wanted to start the office there. Happens with everyone? Yes. When you travel, you feel I want to start the office there. When you come back, so this happened to me 10 times. I went there for 20 times. Every time I felt I want to start the office. Every time I come back, I am busy in my work and I forget. Finally the time came where we decided we'll start the office. You know what is the rentals in Dubai, in DIFC? Have you heard DIFC? Dubai International Financial Center. I have only 500 square feet office in that area. I pay 40 lakhs. I pay 40 lakhs rent for 500 square feet office. Okay? We started thinking that so when I had to start, we had to think so much that 40 lakhs to सिर्फ rent देना है. उधर 2 आदमी डाला. I have a business of only 50 lakhs to a crore. How do I start? We created a business case, but we took a plunge. We said, now enough is enough. Somewhere we start, even if we fail, maximum loss क्या रहेगा? Whether that much variable capability I have, we take that plunge. We took that plunge. Today it is flourishing. That office is flourishing. We have huge amount of work. We have 300 customers in Dubai. We are serving in every space. Tax, indirect tax, finance officer, internal audit, payroll, secretarial, what not. And in hybrid model, 20% force is there, 80% in India. As simple as that. Because you can't have 100% people there. It's not going to become affordable. All Indians are only there. There is hardly anyone in Dubai, right? Only Indians people are there. You feel is it mini India, but not in DIFC. Outside DIFC you will find that. Then we went to US. We had 35% of customers who are headquartered in US, maybe serving them in India. We thought हम इंडिया में उसको सर्व कर रहे हैं, लेकिन US में नहीं कर रहे हैं. क्या करना चाहिए? So again we started traveling to US. The same feeling. कैसे start करेंगे? The cost and the investment is very high. So first we started with the sales office. That we will have a sales office, just to make sure that we are more near to our customers, get the business. But we could not get the business. What we thought, but we had sent people from here. We hired Goras. We thought अभी गोरा लोग लेते हैं, अपने लोगों से काम नहीं हो रहा है, and गोरा लोग का charges are very high. Someone you get it here 50 lakhs, you will end up paying 2.5 crore to the same person there. That's how the difference is. It's a 5 to 7 times difference. The salary levels from here, India versus US. We again failed. We didn't get succeeded even with Goras. Luckily, one customer came and said that you start operation here. We said okay. But we thought that if we have to buy an office and hire people here, it's going to be very costly. We negotiated very hard and we got customer to agree, you will pay for all my overhead cost if I operate out of US. Customer agreed. For the entire lease period, he will pay even if he discontinues with me in between. And that's how we started our US office. Today, incident that customer has gone, but he is bound by paying my lease for the 5-year lease period which I have agreed. So that's a kind of negotiation which we did, which helps us to continue our US office and still manage cost and bring the business. And similarly, we started in Poland. Now Poland, how many people know that CAs here in India will have an office in Poland? Anyone? So this is 100% owned by us. Again, customer need. Customer बोलता है, I need people who can speak in different language, German, Spanish, for the work which you do. So we said, ठीक है, हम पोलैंड में ऑफिस खोलते हैं क्योंकि Polish people can speak different language. I don't know how many of you are aware, but the Polish people can speak different language. To get here, German people, Spanish was very difficult in India. So we opened the office there only for that customer. Now we are thinking that we have already opened the office there, we have 20 people there. How do we use that office to run the European market while it started with the customer office? So that's how the entire thing is moving. And the underlying urged by the thought process was we have a business enablement team which grows things horizontally and vertically. What does it mean by horizontally? Service expansion as well as a geographical expansion. Vertically means going more deeper into the same service line. How many people you have for the business growth in your team? One, half, same partner as this. We have 40 people who is only involved in business growth. They only do business, they are cost center, they are not revenue earning department. Only cost center. So that's a level of cost center and the cost which we incur, that's an investment. They are only thinking about how to expand service or how to go outside our other geography. They don't do anything else. So this is the investment. So I just said organic, inorganic and mix of everything.
Let's talk a bit about inorganic growth.
Yes.
See, what happens is most of the professional services firm, I would not say only chartered accountants, even lawyers, architects, majority of the professional services firm have a little bit of logjam at the top management level, that who gets the bigger share, the person who markets and gets the job or the person who executes. It's like the partner who is a face of the firm or partner who is an executor. So who gets the better share?
Right. So this is the common challenges. See, inorganic growth cannot happen without sacrifice. आप किसको छोटा समझो या बड़ा समझो तो वैसे नहीं होता है. Because if you think that ये तो 20 लोगों का फर्म है, उसको मैं acquire कर रहा हूँ, if I'm an 1800 people firm, no one likes their dignity to go down. So first thing, we became a faceless organization. Okay, how many people know next time? No one knows ना even. Anyone knows? कौन है उसका promoter? कौन partner है? बाकी जितने भी CA firm, sorry I'm using some names. उधर KKC में नीलेश भाई है या केतन भाई है. CNK में शारिक है जो अभी आने वाले हैं. ध्रुवा में दिनेश भाई है. There are so many firms where there is that one, but we decided we will have a different way of looking at things. We had Sudit Bhai, right? SKP started Sudit. Sudit Bhai's son. Sudit Bhai erased his identity the moment he decided he will retire. How many people can retire and have no stake in the company? He has no stake in the company. He is not at all involved operationally in the company. So that inorganic growth required first to become faceless. Because you want to work together, but at the same time you want your individual identity more than the organization. Then inorganic growth will be difficult. The Big Four is doing, who is the promoter of Big Four? There is nothing. So for inorganic growth, you need to give up your identity. Without that, it is difficult that it is my name, मेरी initial से ही firm का नाम रहना चाहिए. The first thing which we did is we changed the name of the organization. Everyone pronounce it differently. Sorry to say that. But it's very difficult to pronounce our organization name. कोई next decom बोलता है, कोई next dime बोलता है.
I hope I am pronouncing correct.
Sorry?
I hope I am pronouncing correct.
No, you are pronouncing correctly. Thank you for that. So it's next dime. So we said that what we are, our culture should reflect in the brand and not the name of the individual. How many of you are ready to remove the identity of the firm from your name? Perfect. But I saw only couple of hands raising. Rest all are thinking यार ऐसा कैसा कर सकता है? मैं हूँ तो firm है. अरे but firm है तो तू है. तू है उसके लिए firm नहीं है. That's a change in the philosophy for the inorganic growth.
Perfect answer, sir. Let's move on to the next pillar, governance. Broadly, I would say the culture of the organization. So many a times, what happens is for a growing service firm, for a growing professional services firm, the culture many a times becomes too competitive. There are peer pressures across the teams, across the partners, across the top management also.
Right.
So how have you managed that culture, that governance in next time?
So governance, let me start with governance starts with the firm partners and the owner. How you want to run the organization, right? How many people find it difficult when you are adding the partner, how much share of percentage or share of profit you want to give? You find it difficult? उसको आधा टका देना है, 1% देना है, 4% के ऊपर तो सोच ही नहीं सकते. जो नया आ रहा है बाहर से, अरे we founded the firm, right? So again, what we decided was that when we started the journey, 90% stake was with the person who founded the firm. Am I right? A lot of you will have 80-90%. Those who have founded the firm. So we decided that we will move very quickly, and we decided that we will have a wider ownership. First thing is that we will give up our share. So we are a very wider ownership driven organization. No one is holding majority stake. It's collaboratively we will hold the stake. So that's a culture which we set it. Second one is very clearly what we decided is the organization structure and the policies. This competitiveness is very common across the organization, but we decided very clearly to define the goals. Partner अपने आप को God समझता है. मेरे goals नहीं हो सकते हैं, मेरे performance कोई मुझे appraisal नहीं कर सकता है. So first we started partners are subject to appraisal. So each and every partner in our firm is subject to appraisal, and they also get a rating of not meeting expectation if they have not met the expectation. So it's not that your partner मतलब बस you may get M- rating which is not meeting, you may get M+ depending upon your performance. It's purely performance oriented. It has nothing to do with your intent only. And the third, the biggest challenge which we have in the governance is if I do hard work, Saturday kiya, Sunday kiya, holiday kiya, it means I should get a better rating of performance. We remove that culture. Hard work doesn't mean good performance. Hard work means hard work. We appreciate your good hard work, but it has not resulted into the result which we want, gone. So that's a kind of a governance model we have set it up for us.
This evaluation of partner is done in-house only, or you
Yes,
appoint some?
so it's done by MC.
Okay.
So MC is there, we have a 3-member chairman and 2 co-CEOs which does evaluation of almost 40 partners. And we do discussion with them for their appraisals and the ratings.
Let's talk about quickly the third pillar, people, and the heart of the organization. I mean, majority of the firms sitting here, SMPs or say big fours, mid-sized firms are facing challenge of retaining talent, training the talent, high attrition rates. How have you grappled with that issues, and how have you moved on?
So we have a very different culture for people. Everyone understands the core value of the people, but they don't understand, while they respect that people are the biggest assets, right? We all say people are the biggest asset in our organization. See, money cannot attract people now anymore, beyond a point. आप उसको पैसा ज़्यादा दे दो फिर भी you will find it difficult to retain the person. So we found some different ways to retain the people. First is the wider ownership. Second, what we decided was we will give them an opportunity to diversify their portfolio. How many people are tax experts here?
Majority.
Tax majority of you. Can you move to a supply chain consulting? Tomorrow I say that I am giving you an offer to run a vertical of supply chain consulting. Can you run that? And leaving your expertise of tax. Well, you will not do tax from tomorrow. So we found this is working for us. What we decided is that we started moving people from their expertise Because 20 years of expertise ठीक है. After that you need to be a good manager of running the firm or running the people or running the business. That has helped us to also do a lot of retention. And Gen Z and Gen X very difficult to retain. They are very short-lived lives.
This was going to be my next question. How do you grapple with Gen Zs now?
Gen Z. So Gen Z, for us, we give them different challenges rather than only the work. Typically in the technology space, they love technology. They don't want to do the same thing again and again. So we have 80 people in our own technology team who develop products, solutions for our customer and our in-house. So we put them there also. You get into that, you learn AI, you learn ML. While you do 80% work in whichever domain you are doing it, 20% will give you something else, and that's how we are able to retain the talent there.
So last pillar, operational excellence. We all heard Anil Bhandari investing in technology, investing in people. I mean, obviously a firm like you or a firm like say Anil Bhandari have deep pockets. They have got investments from private equity, from other people. For SMPs, investment is a big challenge. I mean, they have skills, they have knowledge, but investing in technology, investing in this succession is actually creating a hamper because of lack of funds. So can you throw some light on that?
Sorry, I just cut you, but we have no third party owner in the company. We have no private equity money. Not even a single money is of an outsider in our company. Everything is of partners or the employees. And I said wider ownership. I have 100 shareholders in my own company which are even not partners. They may be an employee or a loyal employee for 20 years, I have given them a shares. So what happens is that my own people are funding my own requirement. It is not only partners' capital. Secondly, we don't take money home every year. Whatever is beyond a particular salary and bonus level, we reinvest into company. So what is happening is, I have to rely less on the outside funding for me to do it. Today my technology investments, because the operational excellence you can achieve only with technology, I am not going into the detail of it. We are investing 3 times faster than the growth of the business in the technology. We had 5 people in technology maybe 5 years back. We used to work in macros. The same person will do macros, Excel में बना देगा, थोड़ा बहुत coding कर लेगा, कोई Python सीख लेता है. So today we have 70-80 people in technology. I have 70 to 80 applications for my own delivery. For my own delivery. आप remittance certificate देते हो? हम भी देते हैं. CA firm दूसरा कोई sign करता है. हमने उसका tool बना दिया है. We are better than Big Four also. So now we have to productize it. If you productize, we will make the huge money. My GP in that practice is 90%. We produce maybe 20,000 certificates signed by anyone. 30,000 certificates. Entire workflow is within the system. I am giving this example because you people are from tax more rather than tax and audit. But we have another some similar 60 to 70 applications. So this is funded by us. This is by not taking money at home, but reinvesting into the company, and that's how technology we could move.
One last pillar, maintaining the health of the growth. I mean, many a times growth comes at the cost of quality. So, I mean, while growing the firm, you also have to maintain the quality, the delivery of the services to your clients. Right. So, how have you maintained that operational growth and the growth of the firm?
So, we started having a proper monitoring system. 5 partners will come and sit in one conference room and say, वो क्या-क्या किसका business हुआ सब बताएंगे, अपना चिट्ठा खोलेंगे Excel sheet में, and they will do it. So that's how we used to do it. Slowly, gradually, we started putting a proper performance monitoring system for our business plans. So today we have quarterly reviews, monthly reviews, half-yearly reviews, annual business plan, 5-year plans, what not. And there is a continuous mechanism to review. Are you relevant into the market? Not only your number of top line and bottom line. If you are not relevant into market and you are not the right person, can you get the better person than you within your team? And we had people who are ready to bring people above them if they are not able to manage, also to grow the business. And that's how we started monitoring. And I don't know how many of you know the EA concept? EA concept and secretary, there is a difference. Yes. Do you understand the difference between secretary and an EA? So secretary just manages the travel calendar and your appointments and everything. EA manages your business. So we started hiring EAs, IIM, MBAs, chartered accountant, CFA. So I have my EA, she is a chartered accountant and a CFA. She only manages the review of business. So that's an EA. Secretary is only travel and calendar management. So we started investing into even that concept to make sure that wherever people will say what you will get it done from her. You are paying 20 lakhs to a person of fresher chartered accountant. But we found a huge benefit right now. Today entire company's dashboard and the health is in a Power BI which we are able to reflect every month on online real
These
time.
IM grades are in your team or are they
I am in my team also. So I just hired someone from IIM Indore and IIT Mumbai. Just day before yesterday he joined me. He was in Ola. I joined him as my EA. And I moved my original EA to a finance function. And now he is doing it for me.
That's really a good thought. So one last question now. For growing a firm, whichever way, inorganic way, organic way, from building that team, what are the top 3 challenges that generally chartered accountant firms face? How to overcome that? What is your experience with respect to?
One is the resistance to change. You are not ready to give up. Change management is not easy. We say it's easy. Change is constant. हम लोग बहुत happily बोलते हैं, but it's very difficult to accept. We had 2 leadership change in last decade. We had one leadership which was focused on intent, and second leadership which was focused on only result. I'm just telling you that the 360-degree different. One leadership only focused on result. It means if you don't produce result, you are out. We had huge attrition. Probably in the 4 years, we had 40% attrition when we moved to a result orientation. There are few leaders who left because they are not comfortable. Yes, someone questioning him, what have you done in the year? Tomorrow, imagine you are being asked कि तूने कुछ उखाड़ा ही नहीं है पूरे साल में. You feel so humiliated, right? Now we have a hybrid culture. Now we have a hybrid culture of intent and a result, and that is helping. So that is the resistance to change. The second is the technology. I think we have spoken enough about it. And third is the retention, which I have spoken in the people section. But the retention is a bigger challenge. आपके पास बिग फोर से भी टैलेंट आता है, आपके उधर से छोटे फर्म में भी जाता है, छोटे फर्म से बड़े फर्म में जाता है. You can't handle the people only by giving money. You need to handle the people by giving them a growth career. What is there for them 5 years? How many of you know your org chart after 5 years? Tell me what would be your org chart after 5 years. You know it after 5 years? Fantastic. So in 2007 I started drawing. Today I am 50 people. I want to make my top line as bottom line. My vision was to make my top line as bottom line. What org chart I will need if I want to make my top line as bottom line? So that has helped us to navigate those challenges.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That was really an insightful session. I think it deserves a really big round of applause. We have time for 2-3 questions from the floor. So if anyone wants to ask any questions,
yeah.
Can you give the mic?
Yeah. So if you're starting a new area, you hire a new industry, specialist for it. What is the level of association that the present management team, has over that particular area? Like how do you monitor that, a particular team is, a new area is developing well apart from the numbers?
Sorry, what is your question? The new area when we develop, what is the association?
Yeah, so existing team, so the example, the present managing committee is there. How will you, review that area, how it is growing well, or how checks will you place on that? Because a new individual is coming in,
right,
is developing a completely new area.
So it is not always a new person. We also have an existing people. As I said, I have in my leadership partners, there are engineers, there are doctors who are partner with us. Doctors, right? The doctor, not the PhD, the real doctor who is an anesthetician. Okay. He is my partner also. So depending upon the new service line, we build them into a partnership. But my 80% of leaders are homegrown. Today, out of 40 leaders, 32 leaders are from my own, who have done maybe internship with us, or maybe who have joined us 20 years back, 10 years back. So when we review the area, we always tell them to give us a competition benchmark. Where you stand. When you look at it, what is your market share? Have you ever thought what is your market share in the practice which you do? Just imagine, audit is maybe कोई बोलेगा 10,000 crore का industry है. Now just imagine where you are. So when you start asking this question, now practice is suppose 2-5 crore, तो हम बोलते हैं हमको 15-20% growth से कोई मतलब ही नहीं है. We just ask them if you need to grow it 5 times in next 3 years, what do you want? Have you asked this question to your partners? If I want to grow it from today, if you are 1 crore in a particular practice, you want to make it 5 to 10 crore in 3 years, what do you want? So beyond the numbers review, we are asking these qualitative questions, and which is part of our questionnaire as a review mechanism inbuilt. So person is coming prepared, and we try not to do review in office. We take them to Lonavala or we take them to Mahabaleshwar and then review in one room. That helps us because the mindset is different from office. Yes.
Any more questions?
Yeah.
Sir, thank you for an excellent thought-provoking session. At the start of the session, you spoke about decentralization of power to empower your team members. Could you throw some light on that?
I'll give you 5 principles very quickly, and that will help you. And that has worked for me in my life for the decentralization. The first principle is retiring from your role every 3 to 5 years. I have never done what I have done 3 years before or 5 years before in my life. Somehow I need to get out of what I did 5 years before. I cannot do the same thing in same way after 3 to 5 years. Second principle is redundant, becoming useless. Can you imagine what does it mean? It means someone else is doing your work. Can you imagine that what I am doing today, someone else will do 80% of my work? That is second. Third is relationship management from my driver to a chairman. You need to have a solid relationship beyond a professional network. I would know even what's happening in the family of that person. उसके बच्चे का प्रॉब्लम है, वाइफ का प्रॉब्लम है, तो भी हमारे पास आ जाता है. That's a relationship management. Fourth is the decision making. We are fantastic at doing analysis, but not taking a decision. फटती है decision लेने का आता है ना, तभी cold feet हो जाता है when you have to take a tough decision. So we believe in taking a wrong decision rather not taking a decision. It's okay to take a wrong decision rather not taking. And the fifth is judgment, which comes with grey hair, which I don't have. But hopefully that will be coming in few years. But it will only come with that. So these 5 things if you follow, you will be able to decentralize entire power because you will give up. You will not have your own existence importance. You will think about how someone else can do what you are doing. I hope that gives you a clear idea.
We can take one last question, if there is any.
Hello. In the start, you mentioned about collaborations and joining hand with someone till the time you're sure. So, can you explain that journey a bit?
So, see, the biggest problem in our industry is how to get work. There are so many competition in the market. How do you get the work? So, the collaboration is, we have so many tie-ups. I will call it, some are informal tie-ups, some are formal tie-ups, some are absolute formal in the sense JV. So the whole idea is that if I want to get a business from France, how do I tie up with the France firm? So I will go maybe 5 times to a France, meet a particular firm. Even if he wants me to set up an outsourcing center here, I don't mind giving a stake to that particular person and say that आप 40% रखो, मैं 60% रखता हूँ. I will run the organization here. We both will earn. Maybe we will make the team from 10 to 100 here. So that is the way you keep tying up, either for service expansion or for an outsourcing opportunity or getting a referral from the business. Unless you give a stake in your business, how someone will give you a business? Now, our problem is that we want business, but we don't want to give anything in against that business. It's not about referral fees. It's about a strategic tie-up. It's not about giving a commission. It's about a strategic tie-up which you need to do it to grow the business. So again, it boils down to giving up your share or giving up certain skin in the game or having a full skin in the game while you grow the business. So you need to do it. Our institute has come with some consolidation guidelines, as I understand, for the CA firms, right? Why they have come? Because of that, right? Okay, you people merge, maybe you are today 20 people, maybe you become 200 people, otherwise how do you compete? So now today, this point in time, I am talking to 8 firms with different sizes in international market, domestic market. But I feel also 1500 is less. My target is how I can become 5,000, 10,000 people firm in next few years. Not by just organically growing, also inorganically how I can try. Can I take a stake in a technology company? Now I am talking to an AI company where I can take a 5% stake. Maybe 100 crore valuation. Can I spend a 5 crore? Once you take a stake, then there is a different relationship than what you do informally. हाँ ठीक है वो referral दे देगा, कोई multiplier आपको business दे देगा. So that's a level of this thing is required. And for that you don't have to take money at your home. You need to keep it in the company, and that money you need to put it into that company and invest it. And last statement is we have earned more return by investing in our own company rather than taking home. Let me tell you, the return which we have given to our own shareholder is much higher than what I would get it in stock market. How much stock market people have made money? Forget about the bull trend. 14-15% CAGR, anyone commits anything beyond that? We have given much better return to our own people who are the shareholder in the company for 5 years, which is much higher than the return which they have got into the stock market. That is the philosophy with which we have reinvested into our own company.
Thank you sir, that was really an insightful session. One recent article of Ashok Haldia, former secretary of ICAI, he gave a very interesting statistics that as of today there are 108,000 chartered accountancy firms in India, out of which there are only 60 firms which have more than 20 partners. So there is a huge landscape available for all of us for whichever way, collabing the way or organically growing your firms. So that is why institutionalizing your practice from building the institution from me to we is actually a need of an hour. And that is the reason this session was planned. An excellent session, Mayan bhai. I would request Ritesh Savla now to propose a very well-deserved vote of thanks to Mayan bhai.
Just 1 minute, that 60 firms are only those who are chartered accountants. There are so many chartered accountants who are not having a CA firm. So let me tell you, there are 600 firms who will have more than 20 partners or 60 partners.
So you suggest to corporatize your practice?
We have already done it 10 years back.
Okay.
10 to 20 years back, we have corporatized this completely.
All will agree. Harsh has asked relevant and our day-to-day life, whatever in our mind questions, and mind has explained. He has explained this faceless organization structure in detail, analysis, how they have grown. It was excellent talk, discussion. I request now Ritesh to propose hearty vote of thanks.
On behalf of C.V.O, CA and everyone present here, I hereby convey my gratitude and thanks to our speaker for taking us through the transformational journey of moving from individual brilliance to institutional excellence. Your insights on creating systems beyond self, empowering teams and nurturing a shared vision have beautifully captured the essence of building lasting legacies. What truly stood out was the emphasis on shifting the mindset from ownership to stewardship, from control to trust, and from task to culture. The anecdotes and frameworks empowering shared today not only gave us food for thought but also a roadmap to follow as we shape the future for our own practices. This session reminded us that true growth is not about doing more alone but about enabling many to rise together. A heartfelt thanks to our moderator for weaving the dialogue so seamlessly. I would also like to thank CA Himanshu Chheda for chairing the session. We hope this conversation has sparked ideas and inspired collaborations, taking us all one step closer to building institutions that outlive individuals. A hearty vote of thanks to everyone.